Greetings and welcome to the Destination Goa Trance podcast, bringing in-depth interviews with artists, label people, organizers from the golden age of the 90s to the modern era. My name is Tibus and I'm here with the one and only Simon Peter.
All right, let's talk about Goa Trance. Last time we were talking to Kris Kylven, but the conversation kept on going for about 3 hours in total. So in this second episode, we are going to talk more about UX and Kris's other projects. Without further ado, here's the second part of our interview with him. The UX project started when you met Pete, or was it already in the works when you were working?
No. When I met Pete, I'm the one that created the whole concept. No, there was nothing when I arrived. No samples, no. We just put all the gear together, and then I was telling him we should do something very sci-fi, really futuristic, and with a lot of different type of samples. I had a huge collection of samples because since I'm young, I was recording on cassette a lot of sci-fi movies, and I did continue. So I used to have a lot of samples. So we had fun with that.
Yeah, but you already knew Eric's when you were doing...
Oh, yeah. He's an old friend. He used to be a gothic guy before even, So, yeah. We used to play guitar with me in my industrial... Because I used to have a lot of little projects in Paris. Like every weekend, they needed a band to play in this club. And I was making a new project in 1 week. Making 10 songs and then going on stage. Mm-hmm. So that was a good practice. That was great. I loved that. Eric was playing with me. Yeah, he played 3 times with me with that project. It was really cool. And then when it was the time first UX, it was only Pete and me. And then I offered Pete, I said, when we play, I'm going to play electronic drums. And you're going to play all the synths and the sampling stuff and mixing the stuff live. And shall we bring Eric to play the MIDI guitar? He said, oh yeah, that would be super great. And we saw that Eric was... I bought Eric the first Casio guitar, very heavy, but very good one, with a MIDI, He managed to evaluate that tiny latency thing, and he could play a lot of the bass lines and the synths that were on the album, and that was great. That's super to have someone that could play some stuff live, and we could change the songs like this, make it more... As well, he had a kind of a look of a bit Jimi Hendrix, but with dreadlocks, So it was like, yeah, it sounds a bit like Jimi Hendrix. That's why UX also, the name was not supposed to be... It was more user experience at the beginning. But it's just the name of the album that I wanted to have something related to UX, That's why it's called Ultimate Experience. But the name of UX was more like a user experience. And also from Jimi Hendrix, you had a RU experience. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that album? It was a great album. I remember when I was young, I was listening to that. And I say, yeah, that's a good combination, and very short, because the shorter it is, better it works. I just put a lot of cliche in the thing in a way, because the name short, so not very difficult to remember, and then also making the name of the main sample to be the title of the track. That's great. That's like every hit songs. And I told, yeah, we gotta do that. Yeah, and Pete was like, yeah, that's a super great idea. And then we started to continue like this, to have all the titles related to the samples. And
how did you end up on Dragonfly?
I think Tsuyoshi had a copy on Master Universe, and I think somebody, I don't know which one had it, and somebody gave it for an ecstasy in Goa to Dino. Dino played it to Darren, that we used to work in for Dragonfly, and this went to Youth after. And Youth at the time wanted to stop Dragonfly. So, and then he said to Darren, because Darren was not label manager, he was, taking care of the Butterfly Studio, he was a bit more of make sure everything is working, gestionnaire maybe, but not at all label manager. So you put him there just because he knew that it was the end of Firefly. And he said to Darren, he said, if you manage to sign those guys, then I continue the label. And of course, when I heard that Youth wanted to sign us, first we put out 2 tracks, Pure Intellect and Life Support Technology. Pete made, I helped him to do the label Swarm Records,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he had, I think, Socaine, the project with Kris, the guy I was telling you that was in the band with Pete before, was one of his best friends, an American guy that was Lumen and Stripper and all this kind of project. So I helped him to do the Swarm Records. But the thing is, when we were supposed to sign the album to Dragonfly, they told us, we want all the tracks. So we had to stop the production of the vinyls. So basically, there is test pressings that were done, but the vinyl itself never came out on Swarm Records because we took them away to put them on the album and to give the right to Dragonfly, basically.
And what is on the original cover of Ultimate Experience, the album? I could never figure it out.
But it was supposed to be a kind of alien planet. But, you have to understand that it's the guy from Future Son of London,
Mm-hmm.
And I love Future Son of London, especially the design is like it's amazing, Future Son of London for design, also. Not only in music, but the design of the covers are amazing. So when we heard that we're going to get Buggy G to do the cover, first he wanted to give us the cover of Silicon Trip from
I have for Shakhtar.
From Shakhtar.
Yeah, of course.
So that was supposed to be the cover of UX.
Oh,
But I said no. This looks a bit too much like there was kind of a synth inside. It's a bit like Jean-Michel Jarre stuff. I was like, no. And as well, it was going more for Shakhtar because it was like kind of dripping.
Yeah.
Like Silicon Trip. It was going better for him. So basically, this is why he got the cover, because we didn't want it.
Yeah.
And I was telling Buggy, Mark, the designer, he wanted to give us some stuff with the little girl from Future Son of London. I told him, no, I have too much respect for Future Son of London to rip off one of the artworks, So I said, can you make something special for us, like a story, so basically these 3 entity kind of spheres, they are supposed to be us, but we don't have bodies anymore. We are just pure beings, basically floating into this planet, Yeah, that was a futuristic thing, basically. And inside, there is a cross over the sea, and that was one of my pendant, my talisman that I did myself. And he took it and he wanted to scan it, and he scanned it and made it on the top of. He made it inside under the CD, He put it inside. That was quite funny to see what he did with that. And so I wanted to tell this story, to have that kind of futuristic planet. But the quality normally, Pete still have the print. The sea is really like the sea. It's not purple like it is on the album, because they wanted to save money on the coloring, because it was, I don't know, many colors there was. It was really looking like there is the sea, the rocks, everything, the sky. The originals are like, wow, it's really, really nice. So basically what is on the album, it's a kind of a pale copy of what was supposed to be the inside is nice on the vinyl, also with the purple thing. It's kind of nice what he did with the tubes, and it's sci-fi basically. If you look at it, it's some alien entities floating around. pure consciousness thing. No bodies, just pure spheres that can actually can evolve. It was really great to meet the guy from Federation of London, and he had really great ideas, and it took quite a long time to do the thing because it was, I think, something like 24 hours for one picture, because everything was done with a 3D and then rendering on the top of 3D. And at the time, it was in '96 he did this, because the album came in '97, but it was already ready at the end of '96. So in '96, having Mac computers doing this stuff, wow. It was really something.
Where did the pure intellect sample come from?
It's come from this, the brain from Planet Arrows. It's not such a super great movie, but it's from 1957. And it also Master of the Universe come from there, the sample. The brain talks like this. You will know the power of pure intellect, but it's actually that took power of pure intellect. That's what I meant. It was going with that. Actually, it's not about the movie if it's great or not. If the sample could carry the message that I wanted to give, it was more about intelligence and or AI even. Even Master of the Universe is also AI thing. In my head was that like this, an entity that is, it has two meanings. It's like believe in yourself. When you do something, you go until the end for it, and also that kind of AI overpower, controlling everything. So it has two meanings. But so the people make their own choice on what it means. But it's from the same movie, The Brain from Planet Arrows, it's called. And one of the samples from that movie is also on the Cyber Christ project, on the Crossworld track.
You already said that you went different ways with Pete. Do you know what he's doing nowadays? Because he completely vanished.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't talk too much with him, but I have his WhatsApp and send him, greetings sometimes. And he's okay, has his little family, and he's happy. He's doing stuff, some sound sometimes, but he's more of a journalist now. He's into writing articles and stuff like this, So he's happy. He's really good. I wanted him to play with me so many times, but he said no. He was not into it. I mean, we almost had him in ZNA, but it's just because he just started that job of journalist in a new newspaper, and it just came just at the moment where he started, and he needed to be 100% there. And so he couldn't come to ZNA. Otherwise, he would have come. Yeah, but it's just a circumstance that made. But it's not because he didn't want to, because he said, okay, if it's for one gig like this, yes, he liked the idea. But going to play some slideshow now or UX show now, he doesn't want to do it anymore. Anyway, he doesn't have the songs anymore. He has nothing. He destroyed everything. I'm the one having everything. I have everything, all the versions, all the special versions, all the stuff. I've got everything. I'm the archiver. Anyway, when we were in UX, in the gig, we were always playing few slide songs, always, because it's the same family. Like the stuff with Pete and Kris when they made Radiation or stuff like this. And this also I play sometimes in a gig, because they fit. They're made in the UX studio, so it's they fit exactly with the rest. Yeah, so we are kind of a family, the three of us, because we did the remix for the Tool remix, Third Eye.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, because when I first heard it, I'm a huge Tool fan, and I was really, really shocked to be there.
But we got the files from Justin, We really got the files from Tool. Actually, we had a lot of stickers from Tool in the studio. we used to love those. Peter used to love we had Undertow and Anima albums, because Anima was the album at the time. And Justin gave us some stuff, some extra stuff, even because it's not even in the song. You cannot get the acapellas for this kind of stuff. We did this third eye thing, and actually they had a problem with their label, and this is why they didn't put it out. But I heard they played it in Lollapalooza before their gig. That was great. And the thing is, it was supposed to be an album of remix. Orbital did a remix, and it's in one of their album. You have a song called Tooled. Mm-hmm. You can check it out. Orbital Tooled. Tooled, you know? And this was supposed to be the remix for Tool that never came out. Skinny Puppy did a remix also that never came out. I mean, there was a lot of artists. I think, I don't even know if Moby didn't do even a remix for them. I mean, we were all supposed to be a lot of artists in the compilation, you know. Compilation of remixes for Tool, and because of the problem they had with their label, they didn't put it out, and it went to oblivion basically. So this is why we don't put it for legal reason. We were not going to put it that it's Tool, because they became such a big thing. Well, it's not because I don't think we will risk anything, because Justin gave us the stuff anyway. But it's just that, it's just a private thing. I think the fans of Tool, they will realize where it's from. But it's from the band, huh? You know. It's like we got the files from the band, man, and they love the remix, man. Mm-hmm. So, because at the time Prodigy was going really good, you know. So it's like. It's for them, it was having some kind of a Prodigy, because it was not like a UX song. If you listen, you know, it's a bit breakbeats, and so they were happy to have something a bit like Prodigy remix. You know, I'm really proud of that remix. I mean, and this is three of us. That was, I mean, that spit on Kris starting it, and then me getting in to finish it. I still play it sometimes. There's many different versions also. But in Odyssey, there's one version also that is longer, mixed with some other stuff in it.
You mentioned the Tool remix, but that wasn't really released, or the remix album released?
It was released, yeah. And a compilation called Tribal Encore from Anjuna Records.
Yeah, Anjuna. Yeah.
Yeah. So later on it got released, but there was another remix that was released in the 90s for Killing Joke, who also had like this the War Dance remix album.
Yeah, but this one is wrong, because what happened, the sound engineer back in the days, I came to the house, to a youth house for when he was doing that, compiling that thing. I gave him the DAT to this guy, and rather to convert my DAT tapes that was 78 kilohertz to 44.1, he just switched the button and recorded it this way. So this ended up to be slower. And this is why the voice, it's terrible in the remix, you know, that they put out on the. So this is why we in the reissue of UX now, on the second CD, we're gonna have the way it was supposed to be, not this slow thing that was done because of the stupidity of that engineer. But it was too late. I told you this, but it was too late when put out the album. So, but anyway, so now it's gonna come proper way and also remastered, because we found all the DAT tapes for the UX first album plus the remixes, everything from that. So that's good.
Yeah, because I already like that remix pretty much the Savage Freedom remix. So,
Yeah, but on the CD, it's slower than it's supposed to be.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to my YouTube where I have all my stuff, you have a video. I did a video also for that remix of Killing Joke, and youth really loved the video. I put a lot of stuff from Killing Joke inside and everything. It's with the right mix on it. It's not with the slow mix. The only problem with the slow mix is the voice of Jazz Kylven. She's like, it's terrible. It's almost like he's gonna die, you know, because it's 137 BPM. It became, and normally it's 143. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, but I think it gives this kind of more industrial and EBM kind of.
But I think the other 43 also is like really industrial.
Yeah.
No, it's good. That means this time his voice is nice. When another 43 is perfect. It's the exact voice. But Youth was a bit. He wanted us to cut the voice away, you know. And I said, no, we don't cut. Yeah, but it's not a UX song. I said, yeah, but it's a Killing Joke song. I said, well, I have too much respect for Killing Joke for cut the voice. He really wanted us to cut it. And this is why we were not on the vinyl. Because he wanted to put Love Like Blood from Dado, remix, and the UX in the back. But when he heard that there was too much vocals, the guys from the Psytrance, they're not gonna like. From the Goa Trance, they're not gonna like it because there's the voice. And actually, I was thinking that also, but I said, okay, but fuck it. But it's still some people are going to play it, even in industrial clubs, you know. So, and the thing is, one time we were in Greece when we just finished it, and Jyoti said, "You got that remix from Killing Joke?" I said, "No, you're not gonna play that now." It was like a 7 o'clock in the morning, it was a full blast, a lot of people, and Jyoti completely on acid. He said, "But give me that thing." I said, no, yeah, there's some vocals and stuff. It's gonna cut the ambience. You know, the people are going to get scared with that voice and everything. And he played it, and it went really great. And then I realized that it was stupid to think that the voice will not work. Of course, because at the time, it was a bit forbidden to put vocals too much and guitars too much. You know what I mean? At that period of Goa, you know, I mean, it says it was difficult to put extra stuff. People were not used. No, everything, you can do anything you want, you know. But at the time, it was dangerous to put something like this.
Yeah, but even on the Ultimate Experience album, the song Alien Earth Activities, like a total shock in the middle of the story. It's like a slower, more industrial guitar track, and it fits perfectly with the album's vibe. I think it's very sci-fi still.
It was made on purpose. I wanted to have something like this, but actually it's a 3/3 thing. It's a and I remember Youth coming to the mastering because he was there and he was like, "Wow, that sounds like Juno Reactor." I said, no. I said, no. Because at the time I was, that was not my point on the UX. I didn't want to sound like Juno Reactor at all. I said, no, it sounds more of, and after it goes kind of really, the synth when it goes really heavy, almost like a guitar, but it's a synth. It's it's nice. I did even a live version of that one. Is pretty good. The one that is on the Odyssey is pretty cool also.
Yeah, there was also a plan for a more modern, remastered, re-release version of the album, right? On the Kiss the Sound Records.
I mean, we put it out, but on Ectoplasm.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's it was remastered by Dan. I think he did a good job on the remastering. but he didn't remaster it from that. He remastered it from the original CDs. So, but he did a great job, considering that he didn't have the. It was nice to, but anyway, I didn't know what we were gonna do with that project and everything. But now it's gonna be something special because it's all from that, and it's not mixed, the album, because before it was mixed, the original. It's a bit mixed at the end, like the songs, and this time it's unmixed from the original DAT tapes. That's gonna be great. I'm really happy about that. I didn't know we had those DAT tapes anymore. Luckily, Emmerich from Element of Nature had all of this in his coffin of DATs. I was like, wow, you got everything. He's got everything. Eon Project, everything. He's my really the banker of my stuff.
Regarding this Ectoplasm release, the most shocking thing to me was that there was a song which included Jan Rechberger from Amorphis.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Amorphis when I was a teenager and saw the guy many times with the metal band. Mm-hmm. So is he a go-ahead or how did?
I mean, Jan, we call him Snoopy. He's a very good friend of mine. It's like my brother, That's like in Finland. Yeah, he did a lot of. He did some pretty cool stuff, man. Kind of a bit go-ish stuff. Also, he's really talented. His father made this Sibelius Academy thing, So he had. He's a great guy, and he's come from the psychedelic stuff. One time we had a super band called All Human Substitute, and there was the guy from Creator, because he's from Finland, and playing guitar also inside, and some guy had a keyboard that was a bit like Pink Floyd style, and we had acoustic drums and electronic drums. We made a lot of psychedelic stuff. Yeah, I have a few songs from him that are really pretty cool stuff, man. So I'm sure you would like it. It's really go-ish. I mean, in a proper way, like in a. But the sound is a bit more modern because it's more like 2000 something. But it's not tagada, tagada, tagada. It's really, I mean, it's not that fast either. But you could hear that he understands the original, the soul of the music completely. Yeah, he knows this stuff. He knows everything. Jan, that's why it's cool, because it's. In Finland, anyway, you see metal guys going to drum and bass party, trance parties. They go everywhere, basically. They are not stuck into they do their own thing, but they know everything. Like Texas Faggots and all this, they go to listen to the Texas Faggots and stuff like this, Suomi Sandy. The Suomi Sandy, that's actually a copy of Psiharmonics. Because we brought them all the DAT tapes back in the day. So my friend Gamma, Marco, that also come from a death metal thing, but then went later on into trance and ambient and all this stuff. He used to have straight all the DAT tapes from Australia and started to play them, all this stuff. Because before that, these guys, I mean, remember when I arrived in Finland back in the days in 95, was a compilation they did called with Flipping Big Seas. That was really Goa, and the same guys. You had Timo from Texas Faggot and everything, and they didn't know yet the Psiharmonic stuff. And then when they started to get all this Psiharmonic stuff, they realized that you could free your mind completely. So they started to make some really crazy music. And they were really talented at it because they were making sometimes the whole set in 1 week. A new set of music in 1 week. Those are crazy Finnish guys. So the Finnish guys, it's not very surprising that they are connected to that, It's like...
After Ectoplasm release, then come the Odyssey Live and Beyond on Juno Records, the original.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite UX release.
Yeah, but actually it never came out on Anjuna. Anjuna, there was like 50 copies made.
Oh, I have that version actually.
Yeah, it's only 50 copies made. And the thing that
Didn't know.
I don't like is the cover. It
Yeah.
was also used on another, already sold it to another project, have exactly the same cover. So this is why I asked him when we had this thing, I sold it to the rights to Chronomy to have the what I call the Master of the Universe Traveler thing guy on it, because it made more sense that this cover that is on the old stuff from Anjuna. Anjuna was Tal was really lying about stuff. He was saying the CD is out, and he was printing stuff from his printer, put it in the CD, pretending the 3D there. But the problem is, I met with with Tim Schultz on the NA in 2000, I think the second edition, and he told me, yeah, but I never sent him the mastered versions. So how can a CD can be out if he didn't receive the masters? You know what I mean, for mastered versions. So it was all bullshit. We discovered that he's full of crap, and he was. So this is why it went to another. Chronomy has the better. Actually, it was a little bit. I think a team gave me a version of the mastering that is a bit better than the one that was on Anjuna. Corrected a little bit of frequencies and stuff that was not right.
And how did the idea came from to create a live
It's just I had a lot of recordings, and actually no, it came also by the fact that I think it's a mix of Inada was actually Word was already before you even think about having this for his own label, but they were not interested, and Tal came the idea after, because I had a video, a DVD video with the live with Front 242, and I had the Master of the Universe live, and he was like, why don't you put a live out like this? I was like, yeah. And then I realized that I often recorded to listen later on how it was sounding like. So it was really, that's why Tim Schultz did a really good job, because some of the stuff was too much in the red, it was not really made to be mastered, but he did a good job. And so I had a bit of recordings from different countries, from Israel, Greece, and I just compiled all of them and made a live album. For they can hear also that how they have evolved, because it was, let's say, there was mixed stuff for the live, like Slide Waking Up to Chaos remix. It's pretty kick-ass. And some dated versions of the songs, that the way it played live now, so I wanted people to see how it is now, that what's been done live. So some more samples, more synths, more stuff. So this is why the live album was actually made also because for the Master of the Universe, I play all the keyboards on the top, and Jan Reckberger plays the drums. Yeah. So I wanted to show that live aspect later on, from how it progressed from 97 to, plus I did all the visuals that goes behind and all the stuff for the live shows and stuff. Yeah. But I was happy otherwise with the artwork with Sam, that's what he did. Apart this horrible cover from Anjuna, the one we put out on the Chronomy is the way it was supposed to be. Very nice. And he was kind enough to give us the authorization to reuse it and let me to alter the stuff. The inside, that is mine. The inside, of the Odyssey, I did that. And it's all the photos from the live shows. And there is Jan. Jan is sitting on you can hear, I think if you can see him play, and you can see him sitting on the and the thing before the gig. So I wanted him to become the drummer for the band, for UX, but we never got any budget for get the proper project between the visuals and musicians live, and the organizers, they always want to have one guy with a laptop, so that's a pity, because that was the plan, to have a proper live.
You released the UX comeback EP, Lazarus Rising.
This is not. I don't consider that to be UX. It's just this is why I renamed it Ultimate Experience.
Oh, okay.
So this is not UX. It's your Ultimate Experience, and this is yes. You can compare it like with the movies. The same thing. You had Mad Max, okay, that correspond to a certain period of time, and you have the new Mad Max. That is kind of, it's really nice or is really cool, but it's from another era, and it has nothing to do with the old Mad Max. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same. It's like the new Ultimate Experience stuff. It's after I worked a lot with Ben from Juno, general actor, and after I worked with bands, and after a lot of stuff I've learned since '97. So it cannot be the same than the old stuff. It was not meant to be this way anyway. And this is kind of it's quite futuristic also, because there's a story that goes with it, and it's kind of a sci-fi story. This double album, Lazarus Rising, was actually just something to introduce what's going to happen, because I was making the double CD. Mm-hmm. So, but the Lazarus Rising on the album is not the same, because there is not the remix of Faithealers at the end, and there is not another track that is really, for me, that I think is really nice, called Genesis, which is a limit proto, also a kind of new beat style. That's called about life is science fiction, so that's a very good sample. Also, it has a lot of things have been corrected. A lot of mixes have been corrected, because on the Lazarus Rising, it was the way it was made. But yes, on the double CD, that was the proper work, basically. Yeah.
The Realm of the New Dawn, that was the follow-up for this.
Yeah. And this is when I started also to do all these covers, because I did all these covers, the entire design. I did all the design. Yeah, even Lazarus Rising, I did the designs also. And also the Subunity Network Goa Years, I did also the cover, everything. It's not Sarah that did. Sarah does only the correction on the typo. That's all, But I'm the one designing the cover. I've been doing this for a long time. But that really allowed me to do even the UX Ectoplasm was also my cover. My design also.
Yeah, that looked really nice. Yeah. I remember.
You're gonna see the new cover. Wow! You're gonna see the artwork for the new CD. It's a good one. If you like Tool, you're gonna like that also. It has a vibe, Alex Gray vibe, but in a bit more organic space. Not space, futuristic. Yeah, but you're gonna like it. Yeah, I'm sure. It has Alex Gray, but not the same style that Alex Gray. It's just because you can see all the things inside the body and everything. But it's a really great cover. I did a lot of work on that. And the Eon Project, was Element of Our Nature, is also going to be very nice, the cover. I'm almost finishing it. It's going to be a digipack.
So how did you come up with the concept for... Well, first the Lazarus Rising, and then the double CD, which is basically the continuation or expansion of the same story. What was your inspiration for that?
it's really sci-fi thing. Yeah, I've wrote a story about an entity that's been called Lazarus, which is a bit kind of a Jesus Christ in the future, that's been annihilated, and then I don't know if you read the story, because I did also a video with the story, and it's been actually found, and it's been turned by a group of religious that live in the space station thing, and then he's been made a kind of a demigod, and then he comes back to the planet to save the people, especially the future generation, which is the children of the New Dawn. This is why I have my next project is called Children of the New Dawn. Basically, is the continuity of the thing. It's a different music, but it's from the same story. Basically, it's the sci-fi story, yeah, with the same concept. Basically, the good versus evil, and
I think the album is less psychedelic a bit, but more atmospheric.
Yes, it's made to be more movie style, maybe. Yeah, it's like has also the voices, ethereal voices, because I'm a big fan of like stuff like Dead Can Dance and really nice vocals, and yeah, it has that kind of aspect in it. Yeah, it's supposed to be mystical, yeah, I think mystical and sci-fi and mystical in the same time. Yeah, the two together. I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, it was quite a lot of work, but it's even more the more down tempo tracks that are really great. The subsonic stuff.
Yeah.
Which one you were talking about? Lux Aeterna? No.
Yeah, I think so. Which one has the vocals? That's what I really love.
But the two, they have vocals, but the last one, the one called The Ark of the Covenant, it's got Francesca Genko, the one that was singing on my Sacred Heart on Chill Out album, Kris Kylven on Cypsonic. I did a track called Sacred Heart that was quite, people they really like it. That's like, it was everywhere in mixes. People were mixing some stuff like Enigma and stuff like this. It was mixing middle of Enigma, all this kind of stuff. So I was really happy about that. And it's the same singer. She's American. She's great. She has a beautiful voice. Yeah, I wanted to lend the album into the more intelligent, perhaps less frantic. It was made, and then the last track is a really kind of movie style, with a little bit Tangerine Dream at the end. This Children of the New Dawn track, At the end, you have that kind of Tangerine Dream, I do a live stuff with the machines and stuff. Berlin School, that's how they call that style of music.
Yeah, you also had some collaborations here. And which one is your favorite, if you had any, or any special memory about the collaborations?
The collaborations, they are not collaborations in a way, because they're just files that, for example, I use a bit of guitar from the guy that plays with me live, Zvuk. I just cut and chopped guitars from his and put it and made a song with it, But also Audiolab, they gave me a little bit of stuff. Actually recorded some in their studio when I was in Greece, but there was not enough to do a whole song with it, and it's just part of it. But there are important parts, because there's the voice of Labros. It's really nice. He's a really talented guy. I really like this guy, and a bit of guitars from his mate Dio, and a bit of flute also. So there's few elements, but the rest is a lot of work. It's not from Audiolab, for example. And also working with Amir, from the guitarist of Juno Reactor, and also Hans Zimmer. He works with Hans Zimmer, where we did the Sisters of Mercy kind of cover thing. because I sing that song, the Sisters of Mercy thing. I know a lot of people think I've stole the voice from the original, but no, I used to sing in gothic bands before.
Yeah,
I can do the Sisters of Mercy easily. But it was.
It's a real cover then.
It's a cover, yeah. So I just sent to Amir the demo, and then he hired a studio. And he recorded some lutes and then some metal guitars, and he knew the song already. But anyway, it's not like the original because it has only few parts of the song, and then the rest is kind of an interpretation of the thing. There's a bit of Arabic stuff because the version that I use is with the voice of Ofra Haza, and Ofra Haza in '92 she redid the Temple of Love with Sisters of Mercy. She was a great singer from Israel, and I use her voice in the middle, and I was thinking it fits with that mystical Goa, you know what I mean? It's really, really Arabic, so it's like, yeah, let's make an interpretation of the thing to be half Gothic Arabic, and yeah, I'm happy with it. It has some good moments in that. It's a bit rough. It's a bit punkish, I think, the mix, but it has some nice sounds in it, and it cuts the album pretty good. And actually, it goes very good with the Awi Sandro also was really good. I did that song called, how is it, that song? The one after Temple of Love, what is it, the name?
The Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory, yeah. So that was also... I gave it to my mate, good mate guitarist. He does Psy stuff also. I'm not really keen of what he's doing in Psy, but he's a great guitarist. He's doing good metal stuff, And I asked him to do the guitars for it, and it worked pretty good, And in the middle, I don't know if you know Dead Can Dance, but I replayed a Dead Can Dance song. It's I think it's on the album Spleen and Ideal, but I don't exactly. Well, I think it's something like Where Do We Go From Here or something like this. This the name of the song, but I want to be sure. Yeah, so I replayed the stuff from Dead Can Dance in the middle, within the realm of the dying sun. But also the name was pretty similar to. So the name of the song is called Anywhere Out of the World. So
this one is also like a cover version of that a little bit.
Yeah, you have that Anywhere Out of the World from Dead Can Dance in the middle. I replayed the same melodies and the same thing. Because I wanted to have something mystical,
And which is your favorite UX song?
Well, I don't know. I cannot tell you. It's
all of them.
No, I can tell you some that I'm not so. I mean, it works. They work good. I've learned how to like. Is the Chameleon one is the first? It was supposed to be a remix for Disco Volante, but as well also there is nothing from their original song. That's why we made a deal that the song is ours. So, but it's the most Goa-ish trying to. I mean, there's an original thing in the middle, so that it's going to really crazy. I just recorded what was going after and put it as a break and with the. Radio sound in it, and that was kind of original. But this one is the most Goa-ish from the album, and is my least favorite. But it has good moments in it. I cannot say, but the rest, yeah, I like those. The others, they are good in there. I mean, they're all, they correspond in a period of time. Like it's difficult to say. For the old school UX, yeah, it's like which one is my favorite because it's It's a bit like a puzzle. If you take a piece, it's not interesting. So I take it as a monument, all of them, not separate. That's why I cannot have any favorites.
I think it's the whole thing. The ultimate experience is really like a journey on its own. It's like a movie. It has a lot of like cinematic elements to it, and I think it really sounds like a cohesive unit. So
it's made as well. The first UX is the same on it's its own style. Actually, the first UX was like, let's give people, when they buy the CD, they're gonna have for their money. So we make them some really kick-ass songs, and that everybody is gonna get like off the roof with that. But it's supposed to be because I love soundtracks. I love scores, movie scores. I love that. So I'm thinking always in that way when I do albums. Has to be a success. If you move the tracks in another order, it doesn't work. If you want to listen to the whole album, it's made this way. It's like for me, I don't know. People can do whatever they want, but for myself, it's a logical progression.
I think in '97 you came out with 2 EPs for Element Over Nature.
Yeah.
So what can you tell about that project?
This is really sci-fi, because there's only sci-fi samples on it, and it's quite a bit hard. Not hard, but it goes really limit German a bit. I don't know. It was like supposed to be machine. That's why it's called Element Over Nature. So it's as well. It's always been like this. This concept that I have is like man versus machines. And at the time there was like a lot of stuff like Terminator 2. A lot of subject like this, and I wanted to do music that you can dance to, but with this aspect of futuristic world, because I pushed it very far, because even the first track is cyber reality. We were not yet into this thing. Now we are, like with AI and all this. And even everything is becoming more and more cyber, The telephones, the tablets, the computers, everything's becoming a little bit more cyber, And the robots also they are making now, you saw? It's crazy. It's like, so, and that was really a sci-fi. It's made to be sci-fi and futuristic, like basically this is it. It's like a bit of psychedelic in it, but it just really samples for dance floor.
And you mentioned that you are going to release the Element Over Nature stuff this year on Chronomy.
Yes.
So that compiles the 2 EPs?
The 2 EPs, without one little ambient thing at the end, there's only one that is going to be missing, because we need space for the other stuff that I found on that. There's going to be some extra... there's a track we did for a compilation that I had Pete to put together, the theory of evolution from the transient. We did a track called Megabyte, and we found another mix of it. So it's going to be another mix of it on the album. And after there's going to be another track, but it's going to be also, because the Cyber Christ project was supposed to be Element Over Nature track. But because it was already gone, the thing, I don't know what happened exactly. There was too many of these things already. This is a mix that I was playing when we're playing Element Over Nature, some stuff live. There's a mix of the Cross World from Cyber Christ will be there, but different than when I played with UX. It's another version, and this one is a more live version, but with the completely original sound, not altered, but just with the electronic drums on it, and and much better than what it was on the vinyl. So that's great. And also there's gonna be another track called Within the Dream. This is a great song. It's kind of a tiny bit more modern, because it's quite a long song. It's like 10 minutes or something like this. a bit more like Delta Extreme, but with as well sci-fi. It's kind of a sci-fi soundtrack on it. Another track called Hyperspace that is really kind of Goa-ish, but in the same time a bit industrial style. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a really good album at the end. It has a lot of stuff interesting. I realized that I had enough to do an album. Actually, I had more, but just decided on those songs. Now the mastering is what we are working hard on. It's Colin that does it now, because it was supposed to be my mate Mark from Kiva, but I think he didn't understand very well the old school, how to preserve that old school vibe in it, because he moved so much into the modern music. He's a great sound engineer. He's one of the best I've heard, but he's really into modern music, and so he's always trying to cut the bass and cut elements into the thing that it doesn't sound like the song anymore. It's really weird, So I don't recognize my songs. So, and I'm not the only one to think that. Emmerich also, that is a part of Elemental Nature, was saying that, and so we had to move to Colin, and Colin is doing a good job. Already sounding much more warm, because he did already a great job with the Subunity network, so it sounds warmer, and so it's gonna be very interesting.
Another project that you had, another act, was Eon Project, which is
yes. So I told you this is the thing. I wanted to come back to the roots, in a bit. I just started to sample a lot of my vinyls and make, some kind of electro. There's one track is almost like hip hop. The Mutagen. It's really, but it's as well futuristic. All the titles, but it's made with old school stuff. So it has a bit that vibe of DJ mixing his stuff with like melting pots of. Mashup of beats and stuff, and I was quite happy and I thought they're gonna kill me in the press with an album like this, but I said fuck it, it's for me. I do it for myself. I want to make an old school album, something that sounds old. And actually I got 9 out of 10 everywhere. So I was like, and they put even eclectic as what kind of music it is. So I was kind of happy. I was happy that it had a good reception. It was a lot of played live, a lot of scenes. I did a lot of quite good. There was ambient stuff also on it. So.
Yeah, it's to me it sounds like a video game soundtrack.
That's it. You're right. And I'm not playing video game, but but it is, yes, of course.
Wasn't there a sample from like the System Shock video game that was popular in the 90s? It also had like AI, and it was like very cyberpunk elements in it.
I don't think so. I think I use. I think there's a sample from Aliens. There's a sample. There's sample from. Some screams from Alien or stuff like this. One thing from Jean-Michel Jarre also. Some Kraftwerk, some new beat also. Well, some really old new beat stuff. Yeah. I think I even sampled the confetti. This is the sound of sea. That that beat thing. I think I sampled that thing also. I don't know. Or if I did use something like this, it's because I had it somewhere on cassette, or maybe it was in one of the vinyls that I was sampling. I'm not so sure. But video games is not the stuff that I was sampling, because already a lot of them had already sampled stuff in it. If we take Wipeout, Wipeout it's full of this early stuff like Prodigy, Chemical Brothers and stuff, like it's already full of samples. I would not dare to go there, but it's possible that I use something. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but because to me it really sounds like some of the video games at the time, but more like more cinematic and more like a movie score, basically.
Yeah.
So that's that cyberpunk video game vibe is definitely there.
But
in the sounds.
I was not playing video games at the time because there was not, I was working with Mac monochrome
Yeah.
classic on AC for the MIDI, and there was no. But after, when I moved to Finland, I got my first PC, Windows 3.1, and I got an extra CD for free, and a CD-ROM with a video game called Pod.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack was really fucking good. And I was like, that was not very far from some of the Eon Project stuff in it. They're very darkish, ambient stuff, and then a bit techno stuff in it. Mm-hmm. It's like, I was thinking, yeah, this is really kind of my style, and I discovered that actually a lot of video games had that kind of sound behind, I should have gone maybe into that kind of business, basically. Yeah. I would have loved to.
You never had the chance to write scores for a video game like that?
Unfortunately not. I should have moved to the US for that. Like they all did. US it was really the country to do. A lot of bands, like industrial bands, I know, electronic industry, they are doing much more money with the soundtracks they do with the score they do for the video games than their own music. They do their own music because they love it, but it doesn't bring as much money as the video games, which is good to do. But a lot of bands, like the ex-guitarist of Nine Inch Nails, that is to the band Filter, is doing only this also. There's a lot of even guys that had a lot of success one period of time, they do. Even Nine Inch Nails did Quake.
Yeah, indeed.
After Frontline Assembly, they did Quake 3 Arena. That. So you see, a lot of industrial bands did this stuff, yeah. But I think there's some guys that are not very well known, but that are already in the business, that are doing all these jobs already. Because there's a lot of stuff. Wow. Like Uncharted and all this kind of. I see the soundtrack, I'm like, wow, the guys are pretty cool. Huh? Very nice. But it's a bit more score also nowadays, more Hollywood style also. Huh? It's like a big epic. Like I like this project, like Two Steps from Hell. Two Steps from Hell. You know that project?
No, I'm not.
The name is a bit more scary than the music, but it's actually very epic music, and they are doing stuff also for video games and scores and stuff. Amazing music, man. It's like, and the production is like, wow. It's like, whoa, Two Steps from Hell. Yeah, it's a really great project. This, you should check it out.
You had a project in the 2000s, Faithealers.
Yes.
Which released a compilation album on Neo Goa.
It's not a it was supposed to be I did a couple of more songs for Completed. I did Angel and Demons and Dark Matter to make the album to be. But actually, all the other songs, they were just better mastering, and Mark upgraded them with better kick drums and stuff. But it was supposed to come on Aurinko records from Tim Schultz, but Tim Schultz was saying it's too ethno. So we didn't put it out. And then I think when Ben from Juno did his label back in the days with Atomic, he did Atomic Reactor. He really liked the stuff, and he asked us to sign one song, Spiritualizer, on his compilation. But if you listen to the version on the compilation, they have the sound is much better on our album. It's like, because it's a new mix, Yeah, I mean, before that we did stuff, but it's a bit more industrial with our Inco. We did a single and then an extra track called New Breed, and then we did. I did a remix for Spies, White Shot. But after we moved from the industry, but I found a lot of stuff now from this industrial period, and we could do a whole album with it. I will need just financing for the mastering, and then we could put it out. And there's a lot of good songs. And the song called The Crow. There's a lot of stuff that you don't know, you guys, but I think you will like it. There's some good songs in it.
You also had the remixes released, I think, last year or 2 years.
Yeah. But actually, because even if Mark is not, because some of the songs it was more him than me. Before, back in the days, on me. Well, we didn't want to have separate things, but so I continued the project basically almost by myself. But the thing is, with the ideology, what we had in mind, so it's like he's still there with me. Taking I can see that he will like that, that we know each other very well. So it's like having him in the studio, even if he's not. And also he's really important because he's the one doing the mastering and makes the song very good, So this is 50% of the song is this also. So he's still involved with the project this way. That's why I want to call it Faithealers anyway, because the style and that was make a little bit of a junction because the version of the remix of that is on Lazarus Rising is better now. We did a new mix of it. So this is why I wanted to have it proper, because there was problem with the kick drum on the version on Lazarus Rising. The kick drum was a bit going out of phase sometimes, and weird. And the mastering was not there, So we put it out with that new mastering, and also a version I did of Across the Universe, just for make the junction between Faithealers and Ultimate Experience, basically. Because I think the album of Faithealers is quite a good album anyway. It's a pity that it's not. I mean, still, it was still 21,000 downloads. Still, it's quite much on Ectoplasm, if I remember right.
You had a lot of collaboration with Neo Goa Records. How?
Yeah, because they were really good friends. I like to work with those guys because Rishpa is also ex-metal guy. I mean, he's still too metal, but anyway. But he's also a graphic designer. So you understand my point of view that the artwork has to work with they were really respectful. And also I was living in Croatia, which was, I was in Slovenia after I was in Croatia. So it helped we had a really great connection between each other, the whole crew of Neo Goa, more than, I don't agree with everything they put out at all. But with my connection with them was excellent.
Yeah, but you already told me about the graphic design. So you're working as your own artwork, and that was a huge part of those releases. It was very front and center. Do you have a favorite of those? I guess that's also a difficult question. Which artwork would be your favorite?
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like I like the last ones a bit more. We changed the last one. There's a new artwork for the Rim of the New Dawn. It's a more mystical stuff, black and white, But anyway, it's a sign that I did, the mystical sign. But I think the Lazarus Rising was really nice artwork because there is actually David Bowie as an alien on it. So on Planet Alone, that was great. But I think the Subunity Network also is, but that's Anchronomy. But and also the artwork I did for the Faithealers, it was a whole thing. I wanted to do something like Jules Verne, old school, that's why there's like a Zeppelin, and it's like it was nice to be able to express with the artworks. Yeah. But my favorite will be, I think the Lazarus Rising is very nice one. With that, I really like the coloring and what it express. But as a whole, I think the Rim of the New Dawn inside, I really like the CDs and the inside of. But I have more artworks of stuff that is not out. That is really cool.
Yeah,
I like the cover of the Ultimate Experience also. I mean, the remix by Faithealers, that did that one is really nice one. I really like this one. I mean, it's kind of an entity plugged with cables, and it's kind of mystical stuff. It's very interesting.
You had quite a lot of collaborations over the years, from 69.9, Killing Joke, to Reactor.
Yeah.
Which one did you enjoy the most, and why?
I mean, 69 Eyes, they are really good friends of mine, so it was great to come back to the gothic rock stuff. I mean, to Killing Joke, it was amazing because, listening to them when I was young, it was like, wow. Ended up in the studio with them, and it was like, Jordi was the guitarist, was amazing. He really helped me out because I was a bit nervous, so everybody left the studio the first day, and Jordi came back with a bottle of bourbon. He said, well, let's start from the beginning. And then we had a lot of good recordings, but he was a Sagittarius like me. The poor died, not long ago. And he was an amazing guy, very, very. But I mean, the whole band is. I love those guys. So that was really very beautiful thing. But Junior Actor also playing live. It was like, because there was Budgie, the other drummer was Budgie, from Susie and the Banshees, which was one of the band I used to listen to back in the days. And to play with him live, I mean, and Amir, and like to play some really amazing places live, it was really great. It was so, I mean, I don't know, they're all different experiences, but they're amazing. I also played with Clock, also with, more industrial electro stuff. It was live. With Spies also, we did 2 tours in Japan, and mixing our stuff, I mean, I had a lot more of my stuff than he had stuff because I had a lot of remixes like Marilyn Manson, a lot of stuff. We were playing that in Japan, and they really loved it with electronic drums and everything. And so with Spies was great. Kiva also, I was playing a lot of drums with them, and we had fun. And it was more funk in a way to play drums with them, So I don't know. Every of those experiences was really nice. I cannot say which one could be standing from one from another, because they are all different, but they are all very strong. I mean, but especially the strongest ones, I think they are with Killing Joke and Junior Actor.
And there are 2 albums in your back catalog that are not available anymore digitally. The From Here to Eternity, the collection of rare remixes, and the other one is the Sip Sonic that you already mentioned. Do you plan to put these back?
I'm waiting because I have an offer from a label that wants to put out something like 4 CDs together. Mm-hmm. But I told him the stuff is, my other stuff is already sold to Chronomy, so I cannot sell it to. So I was thinking I don't know. We're gonna find out what we're gonna do. But it would be nice to. Faithealers never came on CD either, so it would be nice to have it also on CD. So. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just because I'm waiting for the best opportunity to put it out. But also, I'm not entirely happy with everything on the. My plan would have been to upgrade the Sonic album and put some new tracks and keep the best ones from the first album. to make it really a big one, a good album, like a serious, complete thing. We're gonna see if I have time to do that. Yeah. That was a plan.
Yeah, we are all hoping that your health improves, and of course we don't know what the future holds, but for now it seems that this year would be the last time you would perform live, right? Or at least that's the plan. Where can people still see you?
I mean, I'm doing Apsara, of course, festival. That will be my last festival, but otherwise I do Israel. I think I will do Greece also. I'm waiting for other stuff. I would like to do maybe Serbia also. That would be great because there's a lot of friends, fans also. I'm gonna see how it goes because now I have a gig in Israel. I'm gonna see how it goes because I never tried if I'm able to play. If I can stay 3 hours up, that's the thing. So I have to test it out. But I know that my body is the way it was before, and it's not gonna. I cannot just keep on doing it. It will be and as well I need a special diet. I've been eating chicken breast and potatoes and carrots. Like I have to actually boil them very well. That can be really cooked, and then after that mix them with a machine because I cannot eat anything that is with I have a varicosis, the varices, in my esophageal tube, which is quite not far from the heart. So, if they implode, I die straight away. So it's one of the another thing that is there, another bomb. And so I need a special diet when I go somewhere, That's why Yoshke was very cool for Apsara because he's going to provide me with all the stuff I need to be there. But he understands it because he's sick also, so. But, it will not be practical to go to every countries like this and ask them, I need this chicken, I need this, and it needs to be boiled. And you know what I mean? I cannot do this. Israel I can because I stay at the manager and he has a big kitchen and he can do everything. He knows already what to do. But it has to be places where I have people that I can trust because if I don't have that, it's gonna go to hell, So, so I need to, So that is why you cannot even think about making a big tour or whatever,
But it's good that you still have a lot of plans and a lot of good releases are on the way. So
yes, I even have stuff that I have a lot of tracks that I haven't finished, and the artworks are even ready for it. It's like I have the artwork for the next Eon Project album, and the music is not there yet. It's not made yet. It's not built yet. And then there's Children of the New Dawn. There's a single that I should finish mixing that should come out, and then also an album that should come out, and the same Sonic thing that I would like to have it also. Yeah, it's a lot of plans, that I would like to make, but let's see. If I manage to go through that, then at least we're gonna be able to work music and make a lot of music.
That concludes our conversation. If you have a chance, try to catch Kris on his last tour. And don't forget to listen to the Element Over Nature album and the UX released album coming later this year on Chronomy Records.
Thanks for listening, people. If you enjoyed the podcast, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe for more. If you have any ideas, questions, leave a comment or message us on Facebook.